I believe that transgenderism specifically is a mental health disorder. I believe it's a mental health condition.
Okay.
Nobody cares what they think.
Well, no. We're going to finish this. This is good. We have to have open conversation in this country.
What's happening, people? Buzz here. Vivek Ramaswamy had probably one of the best exchanges this week with someone that was an LGBTQAYZ person. This person, she's lesbian. She got up, she shouted some stuff, and then she eventually turns around and flips him off. Gives him the finger because she don't want to hear what he has to say. She don't want to let him finish. But Vivek is a smooth talker. He's a snake tamer, right? He knows how to deal with these people. And he talks them into actually agreeing with what he's saying because everything he says is completely agreeable. Nothing wrong with it. Let's take a look at this. From Colin Rugg, new liberal house meltdown and flips off Vivek Ramaswamy after he sets the record straight on LGBTQ plus YZ LBNOP agenda plus 3, but gets her to agree with him in the end. This is remarkable. Fire, fire, fire. Quote, you are free to live your life the way you wish to live, as long as you don't hurt anyone else in return. Facts. Makes total sense. But that doesn't mean we can change the way men and women compete in sports. Vivek said at the end, in which prompted a fist bump from the very same woman who flipped him off. Quote, I respect her for asking that. We're the only person in the room who believes what you do. I will say, stand up and say it. That's what's up. Stand up on your own 2 feet. Get on the damn rooftops. Let people know who you are, who you represent. Live how you want to live. But don't try to cram it down everyone else's throats. That's not right. You do you, boo-boo, and we will do us. Let's watch this video.
LGBTQ.
What's up?
You heard me?
I actually didn't.
LGBTQ.
Yep, what about it?
Yeah, you just said there was nothing about transgender.
Yeah, so how about this? I give you the mic, and we hear what you have to say. And then I'm going to answer you, and you'll hear what I have to say, what everybody else here has to say. Does that sound like a good deal?
I don't need a mic.
Yes.
I can speak louder.
Well, stand up, tell me your name, and state your question.
My name's Alexis Case, and I grew up here
Okay?
in this town. LGBTQ is a serious situation in this world today. There are children that get bullied because they are gay, they're lesbian, they're transgender.
Well, like Ramaswamy's about to come up and be like, hey, just take the mic, man. You don't need to yell. But she's like, nah, I love yelling. All we do is yell. LGBTQ plus, we yell in your face. You gotta deal with it. We're the bullies now, not you guys. We're the minority, and we still bully y'all. But Vivek Ramaswamy, he's the smooth talker. You know what I'm saying? Here he is about to throw out his response after this woman allows him to speak.
I don't need that.
Okay. You're welcome to have it if you want.
I don't need it.
You get to ask your question, but after that, you're going to hear me give my answer. So I'll let you finish.
What is your stance on LGBTQ?
Spit it out.
Good.
Come on, lady.
Thank you for your question. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to go into a level of depth that I don't usually go into on a campaign trail, but I'm going to do it because you asked the question. You deserve an answer. LGBTQIA, there's so many letters, they've just added a plus at the end. That's where we are now. What's going on? So the same movement, because if we're going to call that one thing, let's play it fair. The same movement that said that the sex of the person you're attracted to is hardwired on the day you're born. That was the premise of the gay rights movement, for it to count as a civil right. That movement is now saying that your own biological sex is totally fluid over the course of your life.
Hypocrite.
You can't believe both those things. Well, I think I'm going to get to a deeper state. That's where I was about a year or two ago, but I think there's something deeper going on, and I'll tell you what it is. So the same movement, and by the way, let's think about the women's rights movement in this country, which said there's many ways to be a woman. You can have long hair, short hair, you can wear a skirt, you can wear jeans. Now says that, oh, if actually you want to behave a certain way, that means you're a man. So I think that the hypocrisies go all the way down, and I'll tell you what's going on. You can't believe both of those things at the same time if you're operating according to principles of sheer logic. But you can if you're adopting a faith, a cult-like belief system. So, this is controversial for me to say.
Look at her.
But I'm going to tell you what I think.
Individual was deranged. You see her? She's it's a cult. It's basically a religion. Let's just admit it that these LGBTQ plus, these people that are taking the alphabet and corral into all these letters and numbers and whatever, it's a religion now. It is a religion. If you have to think a certain way and you have to follow something to the T like the Bible or the Quran, then you're practicing a religion. They just don't want to admit it. They just don't want to admit it. They just want to continue to yell in your face and to convert your children, convert them into their cult, to their religion. Let's just admit it for what it is. If you want to do your thing, do it. But don't be trying to change our children. Change yours. We can live in peace. There's nothing wrong with that.
I believe that transgenderism specifically is a mental health disorder. I believe it's a mental health condition.
Okay.
Look at it. There she go. Oh, the finger.
No. We're going to finish this. This is good. We have to have open conversation in this country. But I don't.
There she goes. As soon as she hits the middle finger, she's ready to run out. She's like, I'm out of here. I heard what I wanted to hear. Now you get to see the finger. Now I get to walk away and be the bigger person. These people love to shout and throw the finger out and scream about you're a bigot, you're a racist. But then when they get hit with the facts, they skedaddle, run out the door. But Vivek's not going to let her run out. He's going to come and smooth talk her back to the conversation. And they end up, coming to and, fist bumping. They come to a reasonable grounds that actually makes sense for both individuals. You'll see. Keep watching.
I don't think the compassionate thing to do.
Health disorder.
What?
It's how they fucking feel.
Well, let me. If I'm going to give you a chance to respond if you'd like, but we can't have an open debate in this country if we're not able to state our views.
That's how they feel.
That's how they feel. And you know what? I'll tell you a story, and you deserve to hear this. I met two young women in this race about 6 months ago. Their names were Chloe and Katie, two young women. They're in their 20s now. Both of them had their breasts cut off. One of them had.
Now, this is the issue I have with the transgenders as well as Vivek. He's about to point out the double-sided, the hypocrisy, the stuff what people are dealing with when they're getting, converted into this religion, when they're cutting their breasts off, when they're having they're taking out the uteruses and they're not able to have children or breastfeed. Vivek's about to let her know that, hey, when we do this to these children, we're destroying their future. They can't have kids. Some of these people cannot have kids. They can't even get up out of bed because their bones are aching. They're so depressed because these hormones are just fucking them up left and right. But then you have people like this lady here who want to shout, it's how they feel. Well, how about, 10 years from now when they feel like shit, want to kill themselves because the hormones are not working. They're making them feel worse. They lost their breasts or they regret the decision. They want to go back to how they were. How's that how they feel then? They regret it. And how do y'all feel? Y'all hate them. Y'all demonize these people whenever people are like, hey, I don't want to be transgender no more. I want to be a girl again. Or I want to be a guy. Well, newsflash, you can't be a guy because you did the snippety. Your stuff is gone. Now you have this opening that you have to dilate once or twice a week. Once you go that far, you're way gone out there. Like, it's sad. It's really, really sad that we're letting our children being indoctrinated by these people. And then when they decide that they want to go back, that they're demonized. They're essentially lynched. They're shouted at. That they're the transphobic. When they live that lifestyle and they approve that thing just like they did. It's crazy.
Had her uterus removed.
Okay.
They're in their 20s. They regret that decision. One of them wants to have kids. She'll never have kids. The other one will never breastfeed her children. They'll never be the same because they had that done to them when they were teenagers. So no, when a young person shows up and says, my gender doesn't match my biological sex, they're asking for help. They happened to them when one girl was 13 when it happened to her. She's in her 20s now and regrets it. This is what's wrong in this country. We will look back at this and say this was barbaric that we allowed this to happen in this country. That is not compassion. That is cruelty.
Cruelty, man.
And so I don't think the right thing to do is, I'm not going to villainize those people. You don't villainize people who are going through suffering, but you have to be willing to say, when a kid shows up and says, my gender doesn't match my biological sex, you have to be able to say, what else is going wrong at home? What else might be going wrong at school? Get to the bottom of what's going on. Help that person with compassion, with dignity. So my view is this: if you're an adult, you're free to live your life however you want, as long as you're not hurting somebody else. If you're a man, you can dress how you want. If you're a woman, you can dress how you want. Identify how you want. We're a free country, and I'm not going to stop you. But kids are not the same as adults. And we have to protect our children.
Round of applause for Vic.
And I'm going to go further than that.
Yes, sir.
We can't change the way that women and men compete in sports. We can't do that. We can allow you to live your life the way you want to. But we can't change the way that we operate in our own life. And I'm going to finish this thought.
Lady, just sit your ass down and let him finish what he's trying to say. Don't raise your hand. We know you need to say something. Just let him keep going. What are you doing?
And you get to respond, because I think this is good. We don't do this enough. Open debate. I love this. I think what we've had in our country before is a tyranny of the majority, and that's what we worry about. But right now, we don't have a tyranny of the majority. What we have in this country right now is a tyranny of the minority.
Yeah.
That's what we have right now, a tyranny of the fringe minority that tells you to shut up, sit down, and do as you're told. No, we have to stand for what is true. And so I promise to you, you will have a chance to respond. I'm going to keep my promise. You tell me. This is good. We don't do this enough in our country anymore. Open conversation. Tell me.
I was a child when I knew that I was gay. Not the fact that I wanted to change
Why do we care about that?
my gender, but living here in this town, I knew that I wanted, that I was a lesbian, that I was attracted to females.
And you know what's
But I had to hide it.
And when did you grow? When was that? In the 90s?
Oh, no. Let's see. I came out when I was 19, so I was born in 1983.
So I think where we are now, we're in the similar generation. I think things today aren't what they were. I grew up in Ohio in the 1990s, and we're in a different place today. And I think this could be a very productive conversation. I don't get to do this in the campaign trail often, where we all are in our own echo chambers and silos. So it's good for us to talk to each other. I like that. Something funny's happened, I think, in the last few years in this country with the civil rights movement. It's right when we get to closest to the promised land of true racial equality that we then start obsessing over systemic racism. It's right when we get to the point in our national history where whoever you are, you can marry who you want, where you want, if you want, whatever gender they are, that we start then obsessing over the sexual identity revolution. You know what's actually funny right now is many people who are lesbian or gay are being taught to say that, hey, if you're a woman attracted to a woman, you're not a woman, you're a man. So that's the transgender movement. The L and the G, first of all, don't have that much to do with each other. The G and the T don't have as much to do with each other.
True.
But we're clubbing all of these things up to create more division. I hate the term persons of color. You want to know why? You take 100 different cultures, combine them into one thing that's designed to be opposed to this other thing we call white. And so the way I view this is, you are free to live your life the way you wish to, as long as you don't hurt anybody else in return. And I'm free to do the same thing too. But that doesn't mean we change the way men and women compete in sports. That doesn't mean we change the way men and women, I don't think that just because you identify as a man doesn't mean that you're entitled to a trophy. You agree? Do you agree with me on that?
That's different.
You agree with me on that?
I get you. I get you.
You agree with me on that? All
I
right.
get you. That's different.
Yeah.
Because men shouldn't be swimming with women in women's sports competitions. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's
That's what I'm talking
different.
That's what I'm talking about, right? And so that's what I'm saying is it's not all the same thing, right? And so we got to respect people and treat them with dignity. Every one of us is different. But all I'll say is kids aren't the same as adults, and if we can agree on that, then I think we at least made some progress tonight and we'll have a step forward. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Vivek Ramaswamy for the slam dunk. See how he handled that like a pro? Donald Trump needs to watch this and take some notes, because if he can smooth talk like Vivek, he'd be the damn king of the world or something probably. If he can just do what Vivek's doing right here on the daily, he would pull up even higher. I mean, he's already up there above everyone, but still, if he could talk like this man here, it'd be pretty badass to see. But he's not really doing that. Vivek's doing that. So good on Vivek for handling this the way he did, like complete class professional, and not trying to just say, "Hey, throw her out, screw her," or maybe to throw her the bird back. He's just straight up saying, "Hey, you're an American, just like I'm an American. I want to hear you, and you can hear me, and we can do this peacefully." You know what I'm saying? Feliz Navidad style. We can sing in grace together. We can do all this stuff, hold hands, skip and say hooray. We can do it in peace, not fight at each other, not yell at each other, and have this who can be louder screaming death match. That gets us nowhere. Literally gets us nowhere, but more divided. Especially when you don't understand what the other person's saying, when you don't actually try to listen, you just let it go one ear and right out the other ear. How's that helping anyone when you're not even listening and you are listening, but it's just going straight through your ear, like I just said? You have to actually listen to what people say so they can understand what you have to say. Because you can give them your ear, they'll give you their ear, and everyone comes in full circle, and they can, laugh, hug, and, fist bump like this woman and Vivek did. So good on Vivek for handling that with class. Now here's something from Ian Yeager. Breaking, Vivek Ramaswamy has called for the removal of 75% of all government bureaucrats, agencies not authorized by Congress to be shut down, term limits for all members of Congress, and government-issued voter IDs for all 50 states. Man, this guy is a pimp. Straight bitch slapping the system that they have instilled. We need term limits for these senators. They sit in these powers like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all these people, Mitch McConnell even, these people. They need term limits. You think when they're 80 years old, 90 years old, on deathbed, like what's that lady, Roseanne, got her name, Diane Feinstein, that's her name, yeah, Diane Feinstein. You think at the end of her life, if she was making actual cognitive decisions? Hell no, she was not. She probably could barely read the document and process it. They are walking, cocoons that are getting ready to die and, turn to dust and go into the ground and get eaten up by the worms. They don't need to be in these seats at that age. There needs to be actual people with reasonable thoughts like Vivek putting these bills in to get passed. So these people are not staying in these positions of power that don't need to be there. They need to be at home in the retirement center, not making decisions for all of us Americans. Let me know what you think about Vivek in this conversation and these old cocoon husk senators that need to be replaced and have term limits. Like, comment, subscribe to BuzzView. See you on the next one.